It was a calm Saturday morning, the kind where the world seemed to move a little slower. Jabari, a dedicated security officer, was at his post and watching the clock tick closer to his lunch break. His routine was interrupted by a call from his neighbor. Jabari, I don't want to alarm you, but I just saw a strange man enter your house. The voice on the other end said, laced with concern. Jabari felt his stomach drop. Without a moment's hesitation, he requested a break and rushed home, his thoughts racing as fast as his feet. Arriving at his front door, he noticed something was off. The curtains were drawn, and a muffled sound reached his ears. A soft, mournful cry. He slowly pushed the door open, his paws pounding in his ears as he stepped inside. Following the sound, he moved cautiously toward the bedroom. The cries grew clearer with every step, and a cold sense of dread settled over him. When he reached the door, he paused, his hand hovering over the handle. Gathering his courage, he swung it open. And there they were, his wife, Annika, in their bed with another man. The world seemed to tilt as Jabari stood frozen in the doorway, staring at the betrayal that shattered everything he thought he knew. Jabari's heart was pounding, but he didn't let his emotions betray him. He took a deep breath and silently backed away from the door. Confronting Annika now wasn't the answer. He needed to think clearly. As he left the house, his mind was already set on one thing: finding the man who had crossed into his life and ripped it apart. Jabari positioned himself near the gate, hidden behind a tall hedge. Minutes later, the man emerged, hurriedly walking down the street, looking around nervously. Jabari's fists clenched as he watched him. Without a sound, he began following the stranger, keeping enough distance to remain unnoticed. The man turned into a quieter street, and Jabari seized his chance. He broke into a sprint, grabbing the man's shoulder and spinning him around. "You think you can just walk out of my house like that?" Jabari growled, his voice low but menacing. The man's eyes widened in shock. "Look, I don't want any trouble." But Jabari wasn't listening. He landed a punch square on the man's jaw, sending him stumbling backward. The man tried to fight back, but Jabari was fueled by rage. They scuffled on the ground, fists flying, until Jabari pinned him against a wall. "Who are you?" Jabari demanded, his voice trembling with fury. "And what were you doing in my house?" The man, bleeding and breathless, raised his hands in surrender. "Wait, I'll talk. Please, just stop." Jabari loosened his grip, but kept his glare fixed on the stranger. "I'm a call boy," the man admitted, his voice shaky. "Your wife, she hired me. I get paid to keep people company." Jabari stepped back, stunned. The words hit him like a sledgehammer. His wife had paid this man? "Why?" Jabari muttered, more to himself than to the man. "I don't know," the man said quickly. "It's just a job. She contacted me online. That's all I know. I swear." Jabari stared at him for a long moment, his mind a whirlwind of anger, confusion, and despair. Finally, he let the man go, watching him stumble away into the night. As Jabari stood there, he realized this was no ordinary betrayal. Annika hadn't just strayed, she had gone out of her way to orchestrate this. The pain was sharp, but beneath it was a newfound resolve. This wasn't over. Jabari walked home, his mind spinning. He could still hear the callboy's trembling confession. "Your wife, she hired me." The words echoed in his head. Why would Annika do this? What had pushed her so far that she sought intimacy elsewhere, and not just casually, but through a hired stranger? As he stepped inside, the house felt emptier than ever. Anika was in the kitchen, pretending everything was fine, her back turned to him. Jabari forced himself to act normal, masking the storm inside. He greeted her casually, ate a few bites of the dinner she prepared, and headed to bed. But sleep didn't come. Over the next few days, Jabari became a quiet investigator. He started observing Anika more closely, her phone habits, her conversations, her mood. The tension in the air was almost unbearable, but she didn't seem to notice. Finally, when Anika went out for errands, Jabari seized the moment to search her computer. It didn't take long. An email exchange confirmed what the callboy had said. Anika had reached out to an agency, one that specialized in providing discreet companionship for people who could afford it. The emails were brief but damning. Jabari closed the laptop, his hands shaking. The next evening, Jabari decided to track down the man he had fought. It wasn't difficult. A few online searches led him to the agency's website. He recognized the man's face on the profile page, listed with a vague description of services. There was a number listed, and Jabari called it. "Hello," the voice answered, cautious. "It's me," Jabari said, his tone firm. "We need to talk. And don't worry, I'm not here to fight again. I just want answers." Reluctantly, the man agreed to meet him at a bar. The following day, Jabari sat across from the man, whose face still bore the faint bruises from their encounter. "Look," Jabari began, "I'm not here to judge your life. I just need to know why people hire you. What kind of need are you fulfilling?" The man hesitated but eventually sighed. "It's not just about sex," he explained. "People hire us for all sorts of reasons. Some are lonely, others want to feel desired again, or maybe they are trying to escape something in their lives. Your wife, she didn't talk much, but she seemed sad, like she was missing something." Jabari's chest tightened. He thought back to their marriage, the long hours he worked, the quiet dinners where neither of them said much. Had he been so consumed by his job that he missed the signs? As they spoke, Jabari found himself strangely intrigued by the man's work. It wasn't just about physicality, it was about understanding people's hidden vulnerabilities, their unmet desires. "What's it like?" Jabari asked abruptly. "Your job, I mean." The man raised an eyebrow. "You're asking about becoming a callboy?" Jabari nodded slowly. "I'm not saying I'll do it, but I need to understand what this is. Why people turn to you. Maybe it will help me understand her." Over the next week, Jabari secretly explored the world he had stumbled upon. He read forums, watched videos, and even applied for an interview at the same agency his wife had used. He knew he wasn't young or flashy, but his maturity and calm demeanor seemed to appeal to the recruiter. "You're older than most of our candidates," the recruiter admitted, "but you bring something different to the table. Experience, reliability. Some clients value that more than youth." Jabari walked out of the agency, his mind racing. This wasn't just about revenge or curiosity anymore. If he was going to fix his marriage, or even understand what had gone wrong, he needed to step into Anika's world, no matter how uncomfortable it made him. If you enjoyed this story, please click the thumbs up button. And if you'd like to hear more stories like this, click the subscribe button or you won't hear my voice again. I'll catch you in the next episode with more tales from Folklore.